What's up? How you guys doing?
Assane Diop was a bit nervous heading into his communications class at the University of Colorado.
I was about to miss class. I'm not gonna lie about this. I can't blame you. I was like, oh, this is too much now.
A lot of the nervousness had to do with the fact that BYUtv had a film crew in the classroom waiting to capture this moment. On this day, the 6'8" Colorado Buffaloes basketball player was giving a presentation. But this wasn't the first time he had monologued in front of his peers.
I was absolutely shocked when he gave his first speech and was just totally in control of it.
Cody Walliser is Assane's communications professor.
The first thing he asked me was, how do you deal with students who don't speak English as a first language? And that was the day that I found out that he came from Senegal, and this is his third language. He was standing in front of the room, absolutely owning everything.
But this speech was going to be a bit different.
Hey guys, my name is Assane Diop, and I have a presentation about a seed planted, and this is about my journey. And today I just want to stand before you guys and celebrate a personal milestone that deeply significant.
Welcome to BYU Radio's Big Stories, telling the amazing and inspiring tales from the Big 12 and beyond. I'm your host, Cleon Wall. Our episode, Assane Diop, the Senegalese seed.
I want to highlight the transformative power that I take every day.
Went up the top, shot from the top of the key from 18. I think knocks it down. And his man dropped right in.
I feel like dribbling and shooting is something that a lot of big men cannot do.
Inside the jump up a nice cut.
Assane's basketball transformation is remarkable and ongoing.
I feel like I don't have no limits on what I can do on the court. It's just a matter of if I will do it or not.
But Assane's metamorphosis has not just been on the basketball court. That's what he wanted to highlight in his speech in front of fellow students, referring to himself as a seed from his home country, transplanted into American soil.
In the beginning, I felt like I was vulnerable, I was small. Sometimes I feel like I'm just passing days and just try to just survive it. And I began to realize that my journey is not only about surviving, but it's about thriving.
Before he blossomed in the United States, Assane was living happily in a Dakar, Senegal neighborhood not far from the ocean.
A lot of people don't notice that I can walk from my house to the beach in 2 minutes.
The beach and ocean are his happy place.
The beach is something else to me. I was gonna describe my family. It will be something like tight, like we really close together.
He was taught by his family and community to respect others, especially his elders.
The older one always have reason to say something.
There was one time when he wanted to ignore an elder. It just so happened to be his father, who told Assane to go and play basketball.
I really did not want to play basketball. I wanted to play soccer for sure.
But his dad was insistent that Assane try the sport, even arranging for him to meet with a friend who was a basketball coach.
Then I went to the court, and everybody can dribble, they can shoot, they can do anything. I was like, I don't think I can do this. And I barely can even dribble ball. And that day I left and go back home, and I'll tell my dad, okay, I did it. And he was like, okay. And the friend that he sent me on, he called him, and the friend was like, I never see him. My dad come to me after that, and he told me that he never see you. I was like, yeah, I did not go. I did not do it because I was intimidated, and he take me to another court. So I went there, and there was none big basketball player that intimidated me at that time. So we all learning. And we have a pretty good group. We learn together. I feel like I pick up stuff really fast, on the court. And my coach was really loving it, and he was helping me a lot about it. When I was playing basketball there, I tried to go back to soccer, but I was terrible. I was bad. I remember that they put me to goalie because I was so long. And I was like, nah, I cannot do this. That's when I stopped, definitely.
Assane steadily improved his basketball skills over the next few years. And then he met Grady Willis, a former college basketball player from the United States.
When I left college, undergrad, I worked in corporate. I traveled all over the country and did well, made a lot of money at doing it. But it was empty. You get all this money, there was nothing to it. I felt like I was missing something. And then I went back to graduate school, was doing psychotherapy on youth. Still, something was missing. Then when my nephew came with the idea of starting the nonprofit.
That nonprofit, Hard at Work Kids, also known as Colorado Hawks, would train kids to become better basketball players and help them get college scholarships to advance their education.
God does want us to give back.
This is Greg's wife, Denise.
I would have never imagined going over to Africa, and I think it was something that was part of our journey and God's wish.
Greg and Denise had visited Senegal before to recruit players to come back to Colorado.
We met a guy there who has like a thing for a lot of kids. And he kind of recommended Assane to us. And Assane, we didn't recruit him to play basketball. We recruited him because he was a good kid. And his circumstances at home were not great.
My family is a big family. And it's my mom, my dad, my grandma, and I got 8 siblings.
They said he lived with a whole bunch of people in a 2-room house. It was real tough circumstances for him. And we felt like he'd be a good candidate to try to help out. And they said he was a really good student. And we felt like that's the kind of characteristics we look for. A good student, wanting to help his family, go back home and help his family.
Assane was only 15 when he heard the recruiting pitch and jumped at the chance to come to the U.S.
I think I see a lot of people here get success and stuff about basketball. I was like, if they can do it, I can do it.
When he came, he started playing basketball, and we could see that this kid is going to be really good. For his size, he was really skilled, talented. And it was funny because the first month he said, I can go to the pros after the school year, right?
One year of going to school.
I said, you just an 8th grader, you got to go 4 years of school here. He said, oh, I didn't know that.
Assane's basketball transformation got off to a rocky start near the Rocky Mountains.
When I first came here, the first 9 games that I played, it was a struggle because I feel like the ref was so soft.
He was bigger than everyone, and they would call fouls on him all the time.
I would drive the ball and they take a charge every time. It's offensive foul every time.
I remember one of his second game, they fouled him out pretty quick. And he was upset and he left the gym. And when the game was over, he said, I'll never do that again.
Well, he locked himself out.
Outside the gym, and it was snowing.
With no coat, so he was out there. We didn't know he had walked out. And we're searching all over. Where's Assane? Everybody's looking for him. And we go outside, and he's out there freezing, cold. And we kind of joked about it a little later on. So he said, I'll never do that again.
I feel like what was harder for me is like staying late at night doing my homework and stuff, like translating and doing it and translate it again and all that stuff.
It was somewhat of a struggle for him because the teachers would talk fast.
He went to summer school his freshman year. The coaches couldn't believe the work ethic. He would stay in the gym, shoot all day, or be in class all day, all A's. And he won the awards for Student of the Month.
He also won a state title his sophomore year in high school before transferring to a prep school in Denver.
He had great size and tall and lanky, and he was very skinny at the time, but played with great energy.
University of Colorado head basketball coach Tad Boyle was paying close attention to Assane's development, along with other schools.
Assane was really looking for, I think, relationships. He was looking for, I think, somebody that he could trust, a program that he could grow and develop.
I choose Colorado because of, definitely the coaching stuff, for sure. But they help me a lot. I feel like they recruit people differently. It's not just about basketball at all. Colorado was the only school that was talking about school, what you have on your grades, what's your finals and stuff. I feel like other school was not doing that. They was only talking about basketball. So that's why I choose to play basketball in here in CU. I grew up in a family that are really religious.
Assane is Muslim.
Like knowing that there's a creator up there just mean a lot. Something that this school do a really good job is not trying to change my religion. I feel like they're really supportive about it. They offer me to like have somewhere that I can pray and all that stuff in this stadium, like in this facility.
One of the things we wanted to do when he first got to Boulder, we found a mosque that he could, identify. This is where it is. Here's the bus route. If you need a ride from a teammate, or a coach or whatever that we can help, let us know.
Ramadan is a really big thing in my religion.
It's a month of spiritual purification, reflection, and devotion.
Ramadan is not something that is negotiable, like it's an obligation. Doesn't matter what you do.
The holy month includes fasting every day from dawn to sunset, and it always falls during the basketball season.
I remember the final that we lose back home. That's how we lost it, because I fast, and everybody was not. And I was like, I don't care if that's a final or not, I'm gonna fast.
When Ramadan came and he went through the fasting, it affected him, affected his play.
He was kind of moody then. I knew something was off.
Grady Whitt is a fellow Buffalo basketball player and Assane's roommate.
I've never really been around someone that has gone through that type of experience, but you gotta respect it. I mean, he's playing D1 sport while fasting and nothing in his system, which I couldn't even imagine.
We were able to get through it, but I think he learned something about himself in that process. We learned something about it.
So Colorado strength coach Steve Englehart came up with a plan.
What we're trying to do is maximize his weight.
They just trying to make sure that I don't lose much pound.
At the end of the summer, he was about 218. He dropped to about 206, 207, right? We need him to get back up to 218. You can only have a certain amount of window to eat as an athlete and drink water as well. And that's the challenge we have with Assane. And he listens. The only problem is he's not used to eating this much. He's like, I can't eat no more.
At the end of the day, it's a commitment that he's making to himself, his faith, and what he believes in. And when you have somebody that has conviction about what they believe in, it's a special thing. I think we all need that conviction in our lives.
Anything that happened in my life, I just turn around and say, okay, this is how God wanted.
Since he arrived in the United States, Assane's only contact with his family has been through video calls. That all changed in the summer of 2024 when he finally got to return home.
Get to see my grandma for sure and spend time with her, walk with her to the beach, which she don't do a lot anymore, like walking because she's getting old. And seeing my family. Seeing my family was, it was a different vibe. I can tell how different that I am in their eyes. Like not like on like bad side, but a good side. Like they will look at me and say, he made it.
Assane doesn't believe he's made it just yet.
I think when the day I will be satisfied about like all this stuff is the day that I'm gonna go home and like build a court. Basketball is a big part of my life, but it's not all my life. And I know one day this basketball stuff is gonna be done.
And though he hopes to make it to the NBA one day, he's also putting a lot of time into his education.
I don't want to be back to where I was like 10 years ago. I don't want to be like struggling no more. I don't want to see my family struggle again. I want to have my own factories and all that stuff to make my own income that we never have to worry about money again in my life.
He is very success-driven.
I think he wants to go home in the end and take care of his family. That's just the way he is. So that's the motivating piece I see with him.
Greg and Denise Willis don't want much from Assane if he makes it big.
I said, Assane, we don't want anything from you. Just buy us dinner when you make it. He said, buy you dinner? He said, I'll make it. I'm going to buy you the restaurant.
Back in his University of Colorado classroom, Assane continued to compare himself to a seed planted in foreign soil during his speech.
I mean, every seed has the potential to become something remarkable, regardless of where it is planted. My journey has shown me that home is not just a place, but is a state of mind. I might be far from my house and my family and all that stuff. I still carry their love and the support that they give me every day. And I want you guys to try to celebrate the beauty of growth and the strength I found in a new beginning that I have here, and the courage it takes to thrive and in a new soil. Appreciate you guys.
Assane Diop, the Senegalese seed, was produced and written by Cleon Wall. Music and post-production by Finn Morrison. A big thanks to ESPN for the highlights. Make sure you watch BYUTV's Big Stories by logging on to BYUSN.com. Big Stories is a production of BYU Radio. Hey everyone, Cleon Wall here again. I'm inviting you to check out another BYU Radio podcast. It's called Deep Blue. It's where you get the true stories of BYU athletes and coaches from their own mouths. It's hosted by my colleague, Jason Shepard. Last season, they had great interviews on Deep Blue, including Cougar quarterback Gary Bohannon. He teared up quite a bit talking about his son and what it means for his boy to watch his dad play. Also, BYU swimmer Jordan Tiffany, who quit swimming due to mental health struggles. He talked about how he was able to get back in the pool again. More great conversations for season number 3. BYU running back Hinckley Rapati will talk about his tear-filled journey to BYU. Former BYU tight end Chad Lewis, he's going to reflect back on that special 1996 BYU football season. And BYU basketball players Richie Saunders and Fuseni Traore discuss their unique relationship. It started way before they got to BYU. Please subscribe and listen to Deep Blue with Jason Shepard wherever you get podcasts, or check it out on the BYU Radio app.